Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 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 okay. Okay, is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Okay, we were discussing about key performance indicators, and we looked at how it helps in lean manufacturing. Next, we will look at visual management. So, what is basically visual management? Visual management is nothing but it is the process of displaying critical information such as KPIs relating to production output, efficiency, quality, and downtime on the production floor. So that is what is visual management states. So it is a process of displaying critical information. So in key point indicators, we know that key point indicators was allotted for obtaining critical information. So we have to obtain critical information so as to understand where is the waste that is occurring. So where the waste is occurring and how to eliminate it. For that purpose, we are we are obtaining key point indicators which determine the waste. Okay, key point indicators determine the waste. However, visual management displays the critical information. So visual management, it is the name itself. 1 minute. Okay. Okay, coming back to visual management. So the term visual itself means nothing but we have to obtain the data visually. So we have to see it with our eyes. That is what is visual management. So in visual management, the key performance indicators shows us the waste or the information or the critical factors that is required, and this is then visually seen through a file work or by basis of um, uh, displaying the indicators in an email, etc., comes under visual management, and they highlight some basic factors, and some are production output, how the production output, how many products were produced, or how many products has to be produced. These are all comes under production output. Then comes the efficiency. So based on the number of products produced per day. So we will compare, maybe on day one it produced 100, day two 110, so day two more productivity, so the efficiency is more at day two. So these are all coming under visual management. Then it shows us the quality of the product that is produced, and this also comes under visual management. And the downtime on the production floor, so any non-activity times that is present during the productivity field. So if there is on day one 100 products were produced and day two 110 products are produced, they will compare what was the reason for the increase in productivity. And if they find out there is a time difference or a time and a non-activity time at day one, they will try to eliminate that non-value time. So that is known as downtime, the time that occurs as a delay in a production cycle. That is called as downtime. And the information regarding this downtime is also obtained in through visual management. Now, how does visual management help us? So it helps in driving the KPIs. So this is basically a support for key performance indicators. So whatever critical information that we are obtaining from KPIs is then stored for visually checking by means of an email or by means of a PDF file or by means of a paper files. So these all are utilized for visual management, and it helps indirectly in driving the KPIs. Next, it helps in increasing the performance or productivity. It helps in increasing the performance or productivity. So once you study, so if you are studying day one and day two, in the case of 100 and 110 products produced, so we will obviously note an increase in productivity. That is, 10 more products were produced on day two. That means we are then studying what was the reason for the lower productivity during day one. So once you study that, by eliminating the wastage or by eliminating the problem for that, we can help to increase the performance and productivity. So maybe it is a downtime that is occurring at day one. If you are eliminating that downtime, you will get more productivity during the following days. That is, maybe on day three, we will get even higher productivity or the same productivity itself. 110 means maybe 110 itself, or maybe 115. So this helps in increasing the performance or productivity. Next, it helps in increasing the production and profit. So naturally, by increasing the productivity, the production rate increases. And if such a production rate increases, if more products are released, that is as per the demand, if you can keep up with the demand, you can naturally produce more products for that demand. Next, profit is obtained when we study the previous days or when we study the waste that is occurring. And if we eliminate the waste, we will obtain certain profit, and the overall profit will always increase by visual management. So visual management is a key part of KPIs. We have to have a visual data for comparing each and every work that is done during the production cycle of a product. So that is how visual management helps us. Next is Kanban, that is the pull system. So we already studied about the pull system. It is also named as Kanban, and it is the explanation is given here. It means replacing only what has been consumed and only what is immediately deliverable. That is what is the basic concept of Kanban or pull system. So under pull system, I have already told you uh, depending upon the demand, only the product will be produced. So depending upon the demand, replacing only what has been consumed and only. Okay. Okay, under pull system, we already know that according to the demand only the product is being replaced, and the exact situation is mentioned here. So we are only replacing what has been consumed. So if 100 products are there, 50 are consumed by the consumer. If you are being delivering it to the consumer, then we have to replace that 50, right? So that you can keep the demand alive. So for that purpose, only replacing that 50. Okay, that is the function of pull system. So it is termed as Kanban, and it is to have a measured queue of materials. So materials in the sense it is about raw materials, work in process. Work in process means unfinished products, then components, etc. Okay, ready to be pulled by the next process steps. So, in the next step, even it is not about inventory itself. Maybe it is a raw material, unfinished products, etc., are pulled by according to the demand only. Whenever you require, you are pulling it. So that is the pull system. After materials are pulled, a signal is sent to the preceding process step to replace what was taken. So once, if it is the inventory, once you're taking from the inventory of 50 units, then such 50 units has to be replaced. And for that purpose, only then the production will start. So that is the basis for pull system. Then how does pull system help? It helps in controlling flow of cash. It helps in controlling the flow of cash, thereby increasing the profit. So we are eliminating the inventory holding cost and overproduction. That is what we are eliminating. So once we eliminate that, we are controlling the cash flow, thereby obtaining more profit. Then next helps in preventing overproduction and over ordering. So that is the next point. That is also depending on the flow of cash. So it prevents overproduction and over ordering. So there will be not a case of over demand. Also, overproduction isn't required because there is never an over demand. Always the demand, according to the demand only we will produce, and there is no overproduction. Thereby, inventory will be small. Next, it helps in reducing three things: overall inventory. So we are reducing the overall inventory. Last 2 points, sorry, previous 2 points explain the same. Then work in process. So work in process is unfinished products. So some products may be there that we cannot complete during a day itself, that is also stored in an inventory so that you can continue it when on the next day. So that is also an inventory, and that such products are called work in process or unfinished products. Okay, so it helps in reducing unfinished products pull system. So according to demand only we are producing it. So there will be lower number of products replacing it. Thereby, work in process products will be less. Next, order turnaround time per lead. So it may be about order turnaround time or lead time. It helps in reducing order turnaround time or lead time. So order turnaround time is nothing but the time it takes for the delivery. Uh, the time it takes for the product that is to be delivered to be returned. So that is what is order turnaround. So we are turning it about. So we are delivering one product to the consumer, and the consumer does not like the product, and it has to be delivered back to the company itself, to the industry itself. So it is a turnaround. So that is one time that it also takes a time. So essentially, the consumer doesn't buy the product, but there is a lossage of time, right? So that time is decreased during pull system, and lead time also is decreased. So lead time in the sense inventory holding time. So inventory holding time is reduced by pull system. Next, it increases customer satisfaction. So in two ways it increases customer satisfaction. First way is the higher quality. So during pull system, only those materials that we need are being produced, and it is produced with the lean manufacturing technique, and hence the products will always have better quality. And due to the better quality, customers always prefers that product. That is the first step. Next step is nothing but uh, due to the delivery period. So I have already told you, according to the demand, only the production is done, and the products are always available to satisfy the demand. So if it is always available, when you are asking for that product, or when the consumer is requesting for that product or ordering the product is deliverable at a shorter span of time. So if it is available at a shorter span, then customer is always satisfied to get the product at a shorter time. So online transactions or online orders are done during the corona periods, and this during this period the customer is required to get the customer is satisfied only if the products are delivered at a smaller span of time. So that is why people go to shop, right? In a shop, the main advantage is that if you are purchasing something, you are obtaining it that day at that time itself. So that is one type of satisfaction. So some things we have to obtain it like that. So if you can uh, make a way to deliver their product at that time itself, then the customer is hugely satisfied. So this is how it increases customer satisfaction. So that is about the lean manufacturing tools. Next, we will discuss about the wastes that occur in lean manufacturing technique. So some wastes are shown here. Basically, there are 8 types. Okay. Basically, there are 8 types of wastes. The first one is defects. So, what are defects? Defects impact time, money, resources, and customer satisfaction. So that is the effects of defects. So what are defects basically? Defects are nothing but the unfinished or unfurnished occurrences that occur on a finished product. So the finished product will not perform according to the function it was created. So that is why that is due to these defects. Okay, these defects are present. It may be due to manufacturing, human error, trial error, machine error, anything. It can be due to any such reasons. And defects occur mainly due to unstandardized procedures. Okay, due to unstandardized procedures. So, if you're you know various operations like hardening, quenching, annealing, etc., right? So each and everything has, for each operations to occur, so if hardening or quenching, and we know sufficient temperature has to be maintained on the material to obtain the hardened material or a quenched material or an annealed material. To obtain that material, sufficient temperature has to be maintained, and it has to be maintained all over the body of the product, or all over the body of the material to be used. So for that purpose, we have to maintain that. If it is not done that way, that particular product may come into a defect. So it may have some defect. And what does defect do? It impacts time, money, resources, and customer satisfaction. So that is the problem with defects. So some of the examples of defects are include sorry some of the defects within manufacturing environment include lack of proper documentation of standards. So I have already told you about standardization. So if we are not following the standard procedure for the operation, or without the visual management, that is the documentation, without the proper documentation we will never know. So for each and every process to happen, we have to get a written document so that we can understand. Never we will understand the procedures to be done verbally. So a human capacity to remember such things will be very low. So once you standardize something, if there is proper documentation and the paper is submitted to the personnel, he will understand how to do the manufacturing process without making any defects. So, and for that purpose only, we are giving standards and documentation to various people. Then large variances in inventory. So how does this variances occur? These variances occur in one way only, because when defects happen, we are throwing out the defective product. So the inventory will always be at a point wherein it will never be satisfied according to the demand. 1 minute.
Sir,
Okay, okay, okay. Few disturbances are occurring here. That is why. Okay. So next was large variances in inventory. So these variances occur due to the defects that are present, and defective products are replaced with only proper quality products are replaced. So for that purposes, there will be large variances in inventory if defects occur. Next, poor design and related design documentation changes. So if there is a poor design of the poor design is created for the product, then obviously there will be defects. So the product will not function as per the functions stated by the customer. So that is also another problem with defects. Then an overall lack of proper quality control through the process workflow. If you are not designing a process wherein quality is ensured, then it will always have a defective products. So that is what defective means. Next, what are the defective causes? So how does defect occur? So we have already explained some points, so the rest of it is poor quality control at the production level, which we have discussed. Then comes poor machine repair. So I have already told you about the periodic maintenance of the machines to be machine used for production. So if that periodic maintenance is not done, then obviously defects can occur. Then lack of proper documentation. So documentation in the sense of standardization itself. So if you don't have a standardized document in your hand, then the personnel will always make defective products. Next, lack of process standards. These two are the same points. Next, not understanding your customers' needs. So customer needs we are obtaining when we are producing a prototype and giving it for beta testing. So those needs are clearly defined, and if you don't understand that needs, then that product is a defective product because it has no value, because the customer does not buy a defective product. If it is does not serve the function of the customer, then the customer will not buy it, and hence its value is reduced, or it will be a no valued non-valued item. So that is what is coming under not understanding your customer's need. And last one, inaccurate inventory levels. So the inventory levels will be inaccurate because of the changes that occurring when removing defective products. So if you are producing 100 products and you found out that 10 of the products were defective, then 10 then we are replacing the inventory. Only the inventory can be replaced with perfect products. So there will be changes in the inventory levels at the industry. Next point is excess processing. So excess processing is a sign of excess processing is a sign of a poorly designed process. So, I have already told you the time required for each and every process is defined. Any other extra processes are always termed as a waste. So, it is a waste when considered with the lean manufacturing technique. So, excess processing means there are extra processes for done that has no value, that adds no value to the finished product, and hence it is termed as an excess processing. And this is because there is a poorly designed process. How does a poorly designed process occur? So if you are starting a business or a manufacturing plant and you are starting it newly, you are designing certain steps for producing the products. Then you are implementing different technologies that are being implemented in other industries, maybe not the furnished new ones, but some conventional methods for obtaining the results. Then after a certain amount of profits you take from the industry, you can again upgrade it and we will keep on doing that, right? And after that, your uh, your your aim is always to maximize the profit. So however you can improve the profit and reduce the cost for the production cycle, then you can incur more profits. So for that purpose, we will then check each and every process is done, and each processes that is not required is then eliminated slowly, and a standardized procedure is kept. So this only then incurs more profit from the industry. And if excess processes are there, that means it is a poorly designed process. So step by step we have to improve it, and if it is not a poor it is not a designed process that is being used, then obviously there will be excess processing and wastage of time, human labor, production, etc. will occur, and this results in uh, wastage inside lean manufacturing. And this could be related to both management or administrative issues, from the management side or administrative issues such as lack of communication. So lack of communication occurs between the administrative management to the supervisor or to the worker. So from there, the information is traveling from a higher authority to a lower authority. And if it is not communicated clearly, then obviously the designing process will be longer, or there will be excess processing occurring. Then duplication of data. So once the data is duplicated, so if there is a step that is to be carried once, and it is kept and if an error occurs that if the work has to be carried twice, then it is called as data duplication. And if data duplication occurs, we are running the, if you want to clean the material, so an operation of cleaning the material or removing the impurities is done. So after cleaning, you have to remove the impurities. If such a process is repeated twice, okay, such a process cleaning is after cleaning you are removing impurities, then okay, if like that the data is duplicated, then that is another excess process, and it is not necessary to be duplication of data means. Then overlapping areas of authority and human error. So human error is one of the basic things. So after a period of time or familiarizing with the material, we will leisurely do the activities of producing the product. We will do it in a manner, and we may not concentrate on doing that. So obviously a human error factor can affect the processing, and this also leads to defects. So that is a process, excess processing. And how to avoid this? Process mapping is the lean waste elimination tools. Process mapping. So we are mapping the processes that has to be carried in order under sequence. So we are sequencing it. First this operation must be there, second another operation, third another operation. So these are coming under process mapping. That is the key used for removing the waste that is known as excess processing. And what are excess processing? So excess processing include poor communication, not understanding your customers needs, uh, human error, then slow approval process or excessive reporting. So these all comes under excess processing. Okay, these are the reasons for excess processing. So I will wind up the class today.